Alrighty, everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Victor Hale, and welcome to HaleStorm Gaming. Today, I will be showcasing the chapter known as Stormclouds. Now, one of the thing about this chapter that is really controversial is the lead up beforehand. It becomes apparent that after the Laguz and Bjork debate, there's this large conversation with Ike, Ranulph, and Soren, and Tibarn as well. So one of the strategies they come up with is to attack the northern nobles, as well as to basically attack the units that are being led by the noble generals, which is kind of a problem for them because, I mean, look at everybody right now. The other thing to juxtapose to all this is the fact that there's a lot of good items that you can find in this chapter, specifically that Reaper card. You're going to find a second one in the next chapter, and then this guy and then this guy over here. Oh wait, no, this guy has a storm sword. If you manage to pin him right over to this area right over here, you can have Heather basically stand right here. All the units will circle around Heather, and he'll use his steel sword. At that moment, she'll be able to steal the storm sword. But anyway, the other thing to note is this guy right here, Istvan. Now, he's made for him to be a showboat. He has nothing to really offer except for that elixir, and you don't even want to take it from him. This person, however, is something of notice. You have a recover. Now, technically speaking, what I like to do is I have Heather have the disarm ability that Braum has in order to steal that bolting ability. So once I disarm this unit, I'll be able to get bolting, and for that specific reason, paired up Heather with Har here, which is what I'm going to do right over here. Anyway, so that's one thing to go over. The next thing is this chapter specifically. In the shop, you can find items known as Spectre cards. These are basically items that allow you to shoot magical attacks at units. Nobody can counterattack when you use them, so that's why I want to take advantage of some of my sages using them. However, I'm not going to do them. It's not going to do me any justice if I don't give them to Laguz, which is my plan for right now. I'm going to wait until the next chapter where we're going to get some Laguz units. Actually, no, 2 chapters from now we'll be getting Laguz units. But anyway, now that that's out of the way, there is a huge controversy when it comes to this game specifically. When you beat this chapter, the plan is that Ranulph and them are going to take down the nobles as well as the supply units. And one of the things that they have to do is have a separate unit led by the bird tribes take down supply units for not the Greil, not for the nobles, but rather for the it's not for the nobles, but rather for the Benyon Central Army. However, there's a big plot point that has to be addressed, and you can't really get to it until later on. But anyway, now that we got this out of the way, Har is going to stand right here, protect Heather, and take down most of these units in one shot because he's already maxed out. Anyway, I like to have Oscar down here. The one thing I do want to be careful for is this guy right over here. By doing this, I can calculate where I'm going to end up, and I want to make sure I'm out of that dude's range. Oh yeah, I should note that in this game, Soul actually does 3 times damage. However, I do have to get this done within 30 minutes to an hour because I do have the unfortunate circumstance of my class beginning at 2 p.m. So I'm only going to get this chapter done today for now. But now that we have everyone in place, I won't really need to worry about that bolting dude until we get to his area of the map. But I'll always have to worry about that Reaper dude. Once we manage to take care of that bolting dude, we'll be able to have our first AoE attack, and we'll be on our way. Anyway, now then, we're going to have Boyd come over here so that he can partner up with Mist here. Rolf will come over here to finish this guy off. Boom, critical. Awesome. Ooh, Corona. My Corona. Oh boy. But yeah, I just want to show off this chapter just a little bit. Thank God he doesn't have any weapons equipped, otherwise I would be screwed. Oh no.
Hey, how's it going?
Doing good.
Yeah, it feels good in here. Yeah. I don't know about that.
Alrighty. Because I'm at school, I had to keep it down for others. Anyway, I will say this: because because my units are outrageously more powerful than some of the other units here. What I like to do is have this unequipped, and then he'll result to using Elf Thunder, and at that moment I'll be able to steal them away. But I make sure to stay over here. Let's hope the guy isn't stupid enough to try and do something else. I mean, seriously, you got this guy over here, and then there's Heather right over here with no way to defend herself. Usually they prioritize units that can't fight back. So yeah. Now then. Oh well, we won't be getting that Reaper cloth, I guess, but oh well. We'll be getting the Reaper cloth later, so no worries about that. Oh yeah, and also because I was able to get Ileana to have a Serenity scroll on her, I removed it from her so that it could be turned into a scroll and gave it to Heather. So yeah. You may think that's actually pointless, but it's actually not, because in the end game chapter, Tormod disappears for practically the entire game, and he doesn't come back until the actual end game of the entire game. So because of this, his Sorelity scroll can't be used anywhere else. Wait, hold on. It can do 4 different spaces. Holy shit. What gives him the ability to attack at such a long distance? These are only 2 range. Maybe it's the partnership? Maybe it's the bond support. That's actually hella surprising. These 4 people I usually like to leave out of the conversation, so to speak. But we'll only be having a small squad in the next chapter. Oof. So he did go after Har. Just great. Which means I really have to get them out of the way. Because they seem to think, oh, you're not that smart, right? You know what, fuck it, we're going to place him in a very uncomfortable situation. Alright, so this guy has nothing of noteworthiness. This guy, however, does. So, adapt. Vimbulvida. Hopefully that Bolton guy isn't as stupid as I thought. This guy certainly is. Bruh, are you serious? Congratulations, we ended the chapter early. Oh well. Oh well, I guess we'll go this chapter without the stuff that I had in my other chapter, however. Actually, technically speaking, I have another save file that's in chapter 5 already. And now Tibarn failed installing them. Does that mean he's dead? Doubtful. I don't think there was even a battle. The Central Army has arrived too quickly. We only know one thing for sure. The enemy now has the advantage. There are still enemies to the north. This is quickly turning into our worst-case scenario. Alrighty. Shrimmer, we must retreat. We're in serious trouble now. Show my back to Bjork? Never. We will fight on like good galleons we are. Shrimmer, listen to me. We must retreat. This is the Central Army we're talking about. Ah, finally! Finally we get to fight the Benyon Central Army. I have been waiting for this. I can see you won't change your mind, Shrimmer. Alright, if it has to come to this. Are you joking? You can't beat me, Ranulf. You know that. I can't let you or a men die in vain. It's my job to keep you from doing anything that stupid. If I have to knock you out to keep you out of this battle, then that's what I'll do. Fine. Try. Ike, stop them. No, they need to do this. You're about to see how that battle's gonna go. So Ranulf hits him. First it misses, then Ranulf gets his leg, and then lays him down. Ranulf! Do not worry about him. I might have broken some bones, but he will heal quickly. My soldiers, we are leaving. Head back to base camp. General Shrimmer, we will return and regroup. It pains me, but we must. Damn it, Ranulf. He got my leg. You're still willing to carry him? If he doesn't rest and heal, all his little chores fall on me. I can't have that. Deep down, he feels the pain of not being able to take them on. Reporting, sir. The Lagoo's alliance is retreating. So, the enemy does not persist when the situation turns against them. I'm impressed. They're flexible and adapt quickly to a changing environment. Shall we pursue them? No. We must join our allies to the north. I hear they've taken heavy losses. General Zelgius, it's an honor to meet you. General Lavale of Duke Gatos' northern forces. Are you in command here? No, not I. Rather, the normal force lacks any order. We do not have a central commander to direct us in battle, so each force was fighting the enemy on its own? Quite so. Taking orders from others is beneath the nobles, I suppose. How pitiful. A sad state of affairs, yes, but now that you're here, the situation will be rectified. Yes, one can hope. So are the rumors true? I've heard that power in Benyon has been split between the apostle and the senators. True, they do not agree on how to deal with the Lagoo's alliance. However, as long as there are enemies who threaten the Empire, we shall fight. That is our duty, is it not? Indeed. Then do not trouble your mind with politics. Let the nobles worry about their games. We should focus on this war. Now then, we'll hopefully be able to get the next chapter done as quickly as I have this one. However, the main thing to go over is the fact that in this chapter, we'll be burning a lot of the supplies. So, first things first. When you ever talk a strategist, someone comes up with a plan involving the Lagoos. What the plan details is that the Lagoos will basically take on the Benyon Central Army force by distracting it. The birds will then fly the humans to to a totally different route. In this route, essentially, Ike and the gang will basically try to destroy the supply units from the nobles, and that will cause an uproar. Thus, because the nobles are having their houses being burned down, the nobles will then have Zelgius come over to help the situation out. After this, however, there will be we will be essential. After this, however, we will be dealing with the fact that when it comes down to it, there will be items we'll be able to get within all the houses. However, what we must do is burn down the houses. Then both the first house, however, and the first set of supplies that we have to get, we have to go to the house first, get over to that area. Do not, and I mean do not kill the senators. Trust me, it'll become apparent why that is. Anyway, after this chapter, however, there's going to be something involved with the extended script that I'm going to spoil right here. So, spoiler warning ahead for this chapter. For support, you want to take a look at your squad. For me, I actually want to pair up Oscar and Titania, mainly because Oscar is an earth support and Titania is a light support. I believe these two... No, not yet. Rolf and Shinnon is a good pairing because it's teacher-student. Katri, I'm actually going to wait. I'm actually hoping for the opportunity where I can get Katri and Heather, because at this point, Heather doesn't really need a support until I get Katri and her in good standing. Anyway, Riz, however, I'm definitely hooking up with Mia because of the previous game. As for Brahm and Afeni, that's pretty much it. As for skills, however, this is where it gets really important. With Soren here, what I like to do is take a look around me with all the skills that everyone pretty much has. When it comes to Ileana, she's already in good standing. Now, Mia's already good with Vantage, but Nefini does not need Vantage. Here's who I believe will actually benefit from it. That's right, I'm giving Vantage to her. You might think I'm crazy, but it'll actually become apparent why that is. Also, I'm still keeping Disarm and Sorelity on here. The main reason being Bane. So, a lot of units. What this means is for a lot of enemies, when I have Heather incapacitating a unit with a single strike, I don't think it means killing them. There are times where I've utilized this move and it brings them down to 1 health. And that's one of the things I like to take advantage of. When a unit gets down to 1 health, Disarm activates at the same time, and Sorelity increases her movement so she can get to places as fast as she can. So having Disarm and Bane at the same time can actually work wonders. As for most of these guys, however, now I can't really assign Nullify to them. However, Nullify actually goes good on him once he gets to the next rank. On the other hand, I think I might actually put Nullify on Soren in a canonical sense as well as something else. But anyway, here's what's afforded in the shop. You can get another Draco shield. You can find a concoction. You can find another arm scroll, however, this one is of notice. Flourish. So, allow me to show you what Flourish does. Allows this unit to fight while causing only half of its normal damage. What normal damage actually means is the might of the weapon you're using. So, for example, I used it on Gatri the other day, and when I had him utilize the wind edge, or rather the hand axe, the calculated might plus the calculated might for the hand axe and the wind edge resulted in 10 damage. It's based off of the might of the weapon, is how strong Flourish can be. Now then, for this chapter, I don't need the Spectre cards on some of the other units.
And then the next one is, we talked about the budget meeting, then this upcoming Monday at 10 a.m. I think I mentioned it was at West Campus. I was actually wrong. It was Port Campus.
Now then.
That's correct.
Now that we have this out of the way.
Okay, I think the only two going on.
Once we get to the next chapter, however, once we show off the next chapter, however, I'm going to show off. I'm going to show off my main save file when it comes to like chapter 4, because the only thing noteworthy about chapter 4 is that you're going to be climbing a bunch of mountains and going up to the top with Lagoo's units in your party. And once you get up there, you need Ranulf and Ike to get to that part. I'm going to be skipping that chapter mainly because the only thing noteworthy is that Zelgius takes on Trimmer and Trimmer loses. This chapter, however, is a lot more important because of the opening cutscene that's about to play. Now then, we're at the Ribarn River. General Zelgius, the men are in position. Good work. It's becoming foggy. Looks like the Hog Tribe has joined them with the main force, but I'm sure this fog will hinder them. I wouldn't be too sure about that. The fog might actually be a boon to them. We'll wait and see what move they make. General, we hear splashing. The Lagoo's alliance is on the move. And now the opening cinematic. This actually featured prominently in the opening movie, in the opening cutscene. So now, you see all the Benyon and Lagoo's alliance walking across. The van's marching half across the river already. There's no point in waiting. Oh well, enemy will spot him soon. Then it's time to fight. You should go. Don't remind me. I hate flying. Hey, anyway, give the word, will you? No need. Our friends heard every word. Finally, it's time. I've had enough of sitting around. Twin brothers, keep up with me if you can. The voice acting is so cheesy, but it's awesome as well. And now, with no effort at all, he turns into his hawk form. And now, boom, the Hog Tribe and the others face off against the other armies. Now, Tibarn is on the battlefield, and some of the units that are with him are his personal guard. The others that are attacking the skies are not actually fighting. See, some of them are just flying around with the Wyvern Riders and attacking the Wyvern Riders. And yeah, Zelgius is that good. But now something suspicious. It's nothing. I'm needed elsewhere. Keep them engaged until I return. He notices something. But what did he notice? By keeping him away, the birds are flying in on him. And they're dropping off some of the elite cat tribe members. Ooh, well. Sorry to drop in unannounced. Thought it best to hunt the strongest prey first. Of course. Interesting maneuver. Will you draw your blade? I suppose you know my who face, Selgi is commander of this army. If you are not worthy of fighting me, then you are only wasting my time. I'm Ranulf, right hand to Gallia's future king. Will that do? We shall see. I'll accept your challenge. You're ready. I find this extremely perplexing because Ranulf hasn't yet figured out who Zelgius really is, but Zelgius knows who he is. What is all this noise? After this hour, a battle has begun on the other side of the woods near the river. Tell Zelgius to wipe out the subhumans quickly and quiet down. I cannot sleep with all this racket. Don't you peasants know I need my beauty sleep? I should have you all flogged, you inconsiderate fools. Wretched snob. Finally, someone who works for them, who hates his position. Now then, as you can see, some of the bird tribe lagoons send the Bjork over to this area. Soren's plan is that by messing up everything in this area, we'll basically have Zelgius' attention. He'll have to quell the flames in this area, and therefore will be essentially taking everything down. Now, as much as I would love to show you all the hidden items, the first thing you've noticed is that in this house right here, if you visit it, you'll be finding a blossom scroll. Now, if y'all remember in the previous game, Soth had blossom. This technically increases I believe it decreases experience, but it has better growths over time, which basically means you get like an extra like 5 or 10 points of growth rates. Anyway, so now then, what I usually like to do is have Soren stay as close to the entrance as possible. As for these two, there's not really anything to talk about. There is one thing I do need to do, however, and that's not have Gachuri and Shinnen. The reason why I'm actually not going to have these two around is because I actually need Har to blitzkrieg across the area, and I need Heather to steal some items. For this chapter specifically, Ike is pretty much good where he stands. Heather as well. Having as few items as possible will allow for some amount of goodness. Now then, river crossing. Have Ike come right over here and take down this unit, or rather stand right here, use the wind edge and knock this guy out of oblivion. Ooh, a critical along with adept. That's really good. Next, Soren will stand right here and break the door. 20 damage to the door will pretty much do it. Now then, having Har over here is kind of a mandatory thing. I take down this guy, and then I can blitzkrieg right over to the burning area here. Have Heather come this way, all the way to the front of the area, so she can get a head start on stealing items. Next, we have Oscar. He'll pretty much kill this motherfucker right here. Ooh, Soul. Yeah, so it deals 3 times more damage, and it has the ability to give you health, essentially. And like I said before, never try to go after the senators. You do not want to kill them. Instead, Heather will take their items, especially the Ashra icon. Now then, this guy right here is of small conversation. Viona is actually our first dark mage that we see in this game, aside from Peleus and Izuka. They don't appear on the map until until part 4. Yeah, until part 4. Though this guy is your only dark mage. So Riss actually has a ballpark with this guy because Riss is a light magic user. Anyway, he basically says, "Oh, there's an army coming. Well, I would love to see the senators rot. I'm not going. I don't want to get on the bad side of my bosses." So yeah. Now then, need to speed this up as fast as I can. After I get this chapter done, we'll be completely skipping chapter 4, except for one notable thing. If you go all the way towards the very end of the chapter, and I mean the very end of the chapter, there's going to be a ballista to the right side of that area. If you have Heather or a unit step on that square behind the ballista, you'll find an etard, and that's your second etard in the game. However, if you're playing this game the way that I am right now, you don't really need to do this. That being said, I'm going to have Boyd burn this area, but I'm going to have Oscar visit this place. You're with the Goose Alliance? Wait, please, I don't want to die with those useless, decrepit old senators. Even this guy doesn't like the senators. I'm getting out of here. You can take whatever you want from the stash. Thanks. Whatever I want, huh? Including a blossom scroll? Thank you. Yeah. Next up, burn this thing down. Alright, so first things first. Push this woman. Mia, push this woman. Mist, I want you over here. And as for her, boom. I get thanks to the ability pass, I can basically come over here despite the fact that there is an enemy unit here. So now we steal the Ashra icon, and now we can increase our luck tenfold. And because we didn't harm the senator, we won't be we'll be able to get past them. But now head right over here for this pile. Yeah, you should probably notice the rhythm here. I need to be able to get over to this area as fast as possible because the whole entire chapter centers around burning all these supplies in order to smoke out the senators and have Zelgius come over here because they need him. But yeah. All right. So right now it's the river crossing. After this chapter, I'll be skipping the next one so that I can show you chapter 5 and what it entails. Anyway, so Ike, you come right over here. Now here's Flourish in action. This thing has 6 might, while this thing has 14. And yet I only do 5 mount and 5 damage. So you get the picture? Yeah. Anyway, we're going to have Gawain here. Oof, not a critical. That's not good. I'm glad I was able to buff up his defense. Anyway. Disarm. As you can see, disarm doesn't get rid of the weapon. Like, it doesn't make it droppable, if you know what I mean. Now then, we're going to have you come right over here. Oh, critical. Jeez. Now then. Wish I could speed this up a bit. Actually, I think I can. Crud. But yeah. Already time? Sheesh. Oh well. After this part subsides, I'm pretty much just going to gonna have to end it right here, but I'll put a battle save on, and then I'll try to get finish this after my class. So don't worry, there will be a live stream after this. After my class is done, I'll be heading back here and finishing up the live stream by heading elsewhere. Now then. Alrighty. Now that we got that out of the way. So yeah, that right there was just a brief preview of what that chapter entails. There is a unique dialogue between Ike and the main enemy of that chapter, which I will go into detail as soon as I get back from my class. But yeah, aside from that, however, it's pretty much the same from there on in. Burn the supplies, avoid killing the senators, steal items from units, and like steal the things you actually need, and then after that, make sure to get all of the supplies. By the way, there have been many times where I've gotten like all of them all the way in the back, and I'm like, oh fuck, I gotta send Har all the way back to the front. So yeah, if you have a flyer, you will blitzkrieg this map really fast. But yeah, anyway, now that I'm pretty much done with the sneak little preview of that, I will be continuing this 4.5 after class, and I will catch you guys later. Once again, this is Victor Hale, and welcome to HaleStorm Gaming and my playthrough of Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn.